I won't quit, and you won't stop me! What's it? I'm gonna be king of the pirates! I'll take that shadow now. You can get it. Marvelous.
Yo, what's good? Welcome back to the channel, y'all. And look. In today's video, y'all see the title. Usually when I throw out my BY Luffy intro, you already know we're here to have fun, a good time, try to help each other out. But this is not particularly the case in this particular video. So apparently some of these players that win these regionals or big type of events, they are going back into the community and upscaling the price $300–400 to try to teach people, pretty much just milking for cash profits and getting rid, pretty much scamming everybody for free information they should be putting out if they really cared about the community. Okay, so if you guys don't want to hear me crash out and you guys just want to just get straight to the actual content of the video, if you guys want to skip this part, okay, the time is on the screen right now. Time is on the screen right now. Just go ahead and skip that shit, because we about to get into a rant, and let's go ahead and start it. So, you know, I was minding my business, having the best Thursday I've ever had in my life. You know, I just uploaded my recent video, packing out Dofi. You know, I'm hanging out, you know, smoking the loud pack. She making me something to eat, butt ass naked. I mean, come on, bro. We living the good life over here, right? We chilling. And then I get a comment. You guys see it on the screen. You guys see this comment on the screen. Let's go ahead and read it. Great video. Is there any way you can make a video on how to play BY Luffy? I paid over $300 on master classes on how to play this deck. You what? And all I learned was how to cycle 5-cost Sabo over and over again for 2 to 6 hours. Feels like I got scammed and wasted my money. Hopefully you're not like the typical BY Luffy player that only helps people for a shit ton of money through master classes.
Who the fuck you think you talking to?
We don't do that here.
This Shredder guy came into my comments and he's this comfortable telling me this. It's either one of two things. Either this nigga's trolling, or there's something going on that I don't know about that I have to do my research, because I did not know any of this shit was going on. I did not know there was a such thing as a master class. I did not know people were holding master classes. Like I said earlier, I honestly thought this was made up. I thought this was a bullshit comment, and then I started going on Twitter. And I'm looking master classes, Metafy, you know, people are charging $80, $90, $100 per session. And the thing that's really sitting wrong with me is that, yeah, it's not right doing that, because let's be real, if you actually cared about the people, I'm talking about everybody who makes these stupid ass master classes, if y'all niggas really cared about the community and y'all really gave a fuck about everybody, you wouldn't be fucking locking this behind a paywall.
Amen.
Especially the people you are targeting. These aren't competitive players. These are niggas that have regular 9-to-5s and they just trying to get better. You get what I'm saying? It should be already enough they're even watching your shit. Because let's be real, a lot of these people making these videos, these content look like ass.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
Okay, let's be real. Y'all are recording, making videos like it's 2005, and that's just me not talking shit. That's just me being honest. Like, you got a lot of these people doing this shit and milking the community. It's crazy.
Try it.
It's crazy. And like I said, I'm not really on the one to cause drama, but You know, I put that post out initially, and as you guys see on the screen right now, it actually been blowing up already. It's fucking 3 o'clock at night and already has 37 likes, which tells me this has really been a problem going on and nobody's addressing this. I actually took a look at some of your guys' master classes. Y'all can barely even pronounce the words correctly to some of these cards, okay? And on top of that, a lot of these classes feel like they're sped up, they're ran, like it almost feels like an accelerated course, and you're promising people false hope, okay? You don't go to one of these fucking classes and all of a sudden you're gonna win every serial. It doesn't work like that. I can understand if you're getting the knowledge and the fundamentals and everything for you to become a better player, but for you to lock this behind content and you call yourself a content creator, you're a scammer, my nigga.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
And that's the reason why I don't link up with nobody like this in this One Piece field like that. If you guys haven't noticed, I don't talk to nobody. You don't see nobody on my channel. You don't see anything, because what I've been noticing is everybody is clicked up like high school girls, bro.
Disgusting!
A whole bunch of high school cheerleaders. Everybody's all fucking clicked up, and that shit is corny as hell to me.
Fact.
The only person that should be doing master classes like this is probably Vivi. That's probably one of the only people I watch, because he's a wholesome dude, very funny, and I just get good vibes from him. And on top of that, the main reason why you should probably watch Vivi, and this is the only person I'm really gonna shout out, is Vivi, is because he's an actual teacher. Oh, shit. So the only person that really should be doing any of these type of master classes is people that actually have some background with these master classes. But what makes it even worse is that somebody like Vivi, he's not even doing these master classes like this. He's actually featuring free content, helping players get better in all his videos at the beginning of his video, in almost every single video.
Huh? So first things first, we've got a game on the lab, okay? Or we've got this portion of the video we call the lab. For any of the new listeners out there, you might be wondering, well, what is the lab? Well, this very first part of my videos I usually dedicate to basically community submitted games where people will submit their gameplay to me and I review it on one of my videos. If you are interested in me reviewing one of your games, it's very simple. All you have to do is record your game, record the game you want me to review, upload it to YouTube, and then hop on the Vivi Theory Discord. And when you're there, all you have to do is post the link to your video in the Review My Games channel. I have a channel called Review My Game, and you can post it in there. And as soon as I see it, I give you the thumbs up and I throw you in line, and then it's just whenever it's your turn in line, you're up.
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
He ain't never going to fucking, go out and charge nobody. He's helping the community, because that's what a content creator, if you are trying to help somebody, thank you for the subscribe, gang. Thank you for the subscribe. If you guys are truly trying to help somebody, you do it just because you want to help people. You don't do it for a check, because what you're doing, and for what I'm seeing, this literally just looks like a scam. This literally looks like a fucking scam, what you guys are doing. So the fact that we don't really have as many players compared to like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! When I say players, I'm talking about people that actually go to tournaments. There's a lot of collectors, a lot of people, fans of One Piece, that just collect the cards because they watch the anime. I'm just talking about actual players. Actual player base is pretty low. So the fact that we have a pretty low player base and there's a ton of people trying to learn how to play this game, you, instead of helping all the new players to help grow the community, you guys are doing it ass backwards and saying, you know what? I topped the cereal. I got this cereal. I'm going to sit here and milk this small community of player base for the little bit of money they have.
Do me a favor, please. Get out of here. Get out of here, man. Shit, I'm saying.
And not give a fuck. That's what it pretty much looks like. Our community is so small. It's not like anywhere else. When you look at MBT, when you look at Team Samurai X, when you look at Farfa, these niggas got like 200,000-300,000 subscribers, multiple channels. Nobody in the One Piece space is big like that. You know what I mean? Nobody's big like that.
Nope.
So if we're not big like that, I would think everybody will be moving accordingly and trying to help everybody.
Nope.
What I'm really finding out, just looking on Twitter and what people sending me with screenshots and all this crazy shit, is that y'all niggas don't give a fuck about somebody, and the whole point of you guys topping is so you could try to tax everybody that's trying to learn from you. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to, you know, stop you from getting your bag, but to what expense are you going to do it? You know what I mean?
Go home and get a job. Go home, get a job. Get a job.
Like, you guys really need to be milking people for $300-400 like what this comment says. As you guys can see, this comment's been up here this whole time. Like, what is it, bro? That's all I'm gonna say on it, man. I'll let that shit resonate real quick because, like, this shit's corny. You got motherfuckers like VV doing this shit for free and people that don't even make content, that content look like trash, and y'all charging.
Try!
Y'all making videos like it's 2002, charging.
Shadow counter!
But you got people like VV doing this shit for free and he's a qualified teacher. Oh, y'all fucked up. Y'all fucked up. Okay, so that's all I gotta say. If you are watching this and you guys are listening to this rant, or just me being honest with you guys, this masterclass shit is some bullshit. If you guys ever need help, okay, and this is where we all have to come together. If you are a BY Luffy player, if you've been playing it just as long as me, or you also shicey shit like me with this deck, I even got some people in the comments, such as, not the comments, the by Discord, such as, I'll put this man on the screen. Hold on, let me see. Such as XMSR. I'm putting his comment on the screen right now. We got people helping you out, gang. Y'all don't gotta pay for shit, okay? And hopefully this video can help you. The last thing I want to be doing with you guys is really just charging you guys, you know what I mean? Like, especially if it's something if I like, I'm not gonna charge nobody. But we got people helping y'all, bro. Y'all don't gotta pay for nothing, man. And if you guys do want to support me, or if you guys do want to, you know, try to help me financially, or the case may be, you guys never heard me ask for no money from none of y'all on here. Fact, not an opinion. I refuse. But if you are kind enough and you guys are generous enough and you guys do want to help me out, just become a member, bro. Just becoming, that shit is $5. But paying, this guy said $300-400 for classes, that's crazy. That's actually just insane. And y'all niggas that are doing it are okay with it. So, I don't know, man. I'm not gonna get into roasting people and stuff like that. I ain't gonna do no name calling. But if you are a BY Luffy player and you guys do need help, join the Discord, or really make this video go crazy. You know, if you've been playing BY Luffy for a minute, put in the comments like what XMSR said. Put in the comments. Try to help everybody out. Try to help people out. I mean, because be honest with you, our deck is gonna fall off of OP09. Our deck has fallen off of OP09 just because of all the shit that's coming out. But yeah, man, you know, that's all I really got to say. Don't buy none of these master classes. They're all a scam. And yeah, y'all, let's go ahead and get straight to the video. Actually crazy. Actually fucking crazy. So yeah, we are back. So yeah, let's go ahead and get straight into it. So as you guys can see, we have a lot of shice. Let's just go ahead and bring up my initial list. So if you guys don't know how this deck works, this is probably one of the most complicated decks in the game to use, fact, not an opinion. Let's go ahead and read the ability. Per the rules, your face of life cards will be sent to the bottom of your deck instead of your hand. So pretty much any cards that are sent to your life, whether it will be from your own effect or like 9-drop Big Mom or 8-drop Katakuri, and it goes back to your life. If they attack you or you end up losing that life that requires an attack, it will go back to your deck. And this is implemented in this leader just for balance. Be kind of broken to where if you send something back to the life and it goes back to hand, because you can just keep on recycling your graveyard over and over again. You get what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and read the actual effect. Dawn ×2, activate main once per turn. You may discard 1 card from your hand. If your life is at 0, you may add up to 2 5-cost characters from your hand or trash to your life cards. So the gist of this deck is getting your life to 0 and being able to bring those cards back into your life, such as the Sabo, the Ace, the Luffy, and the power-up Luffy into your life, so you can bounce them all back to bring out these bigger bodies. So let's say, in instance, you use leader effect, you have Ace and you have Sabo back into your life, okay? Now, since you have them back into your life, there's either 2 things you could do. You could either have the little babies in your hand, okay? So, like, let's say the Ace is on top. If the Ace is on top and I summon this Ace, I can bounce back. I can summon this Ace, then bounce back this small Ace. This goes back to the trash and I can bring this out of life. That's pretty much how this whole entire deck functions. Okay, it's a lot of sequencing. A lot of this deck revolves and requires you to know your proper sequencing if you guys want to get the full effect of this deck. Okay, usually about this deck as well is that if you misplay once or twice, more likely you're going to lose a game, and that really shows in the upcoming metas when it comes to 8.5 and 9.0, because the meta is so fast. If you literally just, you know, mess up 1 or 2 plays, literally you're going to lose with this deck. So this is the hardest deck to play. And the biggest thing before we actually go, because as you guys can see, I have a lot of different numbers. You guys are probably wondering, what is this for? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I actually took it upon myself to mark every single dawn turn, and we're going to go over every single turn and what you should possibly be doing in that turn. So we're going to go over that, and you know, we're just going to go over the deck list, and we're even going to have some games in the video. Okay, like I said, I don't know what the hell they're teaching you guys in this master class XYZ, but you know, y'all can just get this shit for free in this video. So if you guys have any questions, make sure you share this shit. Let's go ahead and get straight into Dawn 1. If you guys have any other questions with how the basic, you know, functionality of this deck works, just let me know. But that's pretty much the gist of this deck. Get your life at 0, use your leader effect, bring them all back. Oh yeah, and on top of bringing them all back, the reason why you want to bring out these smaller characters such as the, you know, the Ace, the Sabo, the Luffy, and the Power Up Luffy, not only you get to send them to the field, but when you actually bring them out of life by summoning them in this way, your leader actually gets bumped up with every character you summon out of life. So if you use the leader effect and you use Sabo and Ace, and then you end up using the little Sabo and the little Ace, and you bring both of these on field, not only you keep both Sabo cycling, we'll get into that a little bit later when you talk about Dons, your leader will be at 9k, and that's also another reason why this deck is so good, because you could just sit at 9k consistently if you have the proper hand. Late game, usually what you want to have going on is that you end up cycling out Sabos over and over again, possibly have your Gecko on the field, and really just ending the game with this Ace or this Power Up Luffy. Okay, so that's really the end game, what you really want to do. And if there is anything on the field that you really need to get rid of that might be problematic, you guys probably need to end up going into this one. This is your board removal. This is the Lucci. This is the Kurama, you know what I mean? This is the 5-drop Marco. This is your board removal. Okay, so actually let's go over every single card and what the functionality of it is. Like I said, there is no script for this. Okay, as you guys can tell, I'm kind of jumping all over the place. There's really no script. I'm literally just talking based off of, you know, what I'm seeing, what I'm thinking at the moment. So let's just go straight into it. So we got this Monkey D. Luffy. Cool. This card is really just made for some cost reduction to be able to get some popping off with your Monkey D. Luffy right here. And that's really about it. This is really just used for cost reduction. If you guys use this cost reduction against anything from a cost 8 or lower, and you end up bringing out this Monkey D. Luffy, you can end up removing it from the field. So anything with an 8 cost like this or lower, you can pop. So that's the reason why you use this. And on top of that, it's a very good draw as well. This card forces your opponent for them to do something about Kuzan, because 9 times out of 10, if you leave the Kuzan on the field over and over again, everything that you summon that's big body is going to be removed from the field. So that's why Kuzan's good. We're only running 2 because with Dofi coming out, Kuzan really takes a back seat, because Kuzan doesn't really do anything in that matchup. I see some Dofis run like the Boas and the Kaidos, but a lot of these type of Dofi decks out there, they don't really run a lot of big bodies. And if that is the #1 deck, I feel like we don't need to be running 4. Maybe at Nationals we could be running possibly 3 or 4, but since we're not in Nationals anymore, there's no reason to run this or the big version of Kuzan as well. So I feel like 2 is exactly where you need to be. And also in the OCG or the East and OP09, a lot of people are opting to even cut this card or just run it at 2 because of the dominance of Doflamingo. So that's what Kuzan does. Let's get straight into Sabo. So Sabo is a very, very strong card, just being able to reshuffle your hand and also just being a blocker. But the biggest selling point of this particular Sabo, the Black Sabo, is the blanket protection. Every time you summon this card, all your other characters on your field are immune to KO capabilities, and that's actually very, very base, because a lot of decks nowadays have a lot of KO popping features such as black, green, yellow, and even red with Red Marco. That's the reason why this deck is so good. Now, when it comes to OP09, Sabo's actually getting power crept, and it's shown with the Tashigi in the brand new Smoker structure deck. Okay, within that brand new Smoker structure deck, the Tashigi card, we can actually look it up here right here. there's a brand new card that comes out in the brand new structure deck, right? And instead of it saying pop, it says trash. Where's it say? Let me see. So this is the effect right here. Activate main once per turn. If it is the turn this character was played, place up to one of your opponent's cost 0 characters to its owner's trash. And that's the selling point right now. And that's the selling point right there. Place the character in its trash. Is the major selling point. And that's why I said Sabo low-key is getting power crept. A lot of the cards in OP09 says send to trash. So this KO ability is only going to be good probably for another month or two, because once you go into OP09, there's going to be more and more cards that Bandai is printing that says just trash the character. I think there's a purple Kaido that does that. Tashigi does that. The brand new red card used in Shanks does that. There's a lot of cards that just send your cards to the trash. So this card is low-key getting power crept at the moment when we come to OP09. But besides the point, this is also still a very, very strong feature with this Sabo, just having some blanket protection among all your characters. The next character or card that we have is Gecko Moria. Everybody says this is the most broken card in the game. I mean, I can't really argue with or against you. I just think it's another broken card in the One Piece game, because, you know, I feel like every color has a broken card, such as Pudding, mainly just Pudding, because Pudding's actually crazy. Gravity Blade, Red Rock, Capone, Big Mom. I mean, it feels like almost every color has a broken card. So for me to call this the most broken card, I think that's a little stretch. Y'all are reaching me because you guys can't play the deck, or you guys are losing to it. Hey, yo, thank you for the subscribe, gang. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for subscribing. Appreciate you. And you know, Gecko Moria pretty much brings 2 characters from the trash to the field. It could be a 4 and a 2, but a lot of times what you're going to be doing in this deck is that you're going to be bringing this card right here, this Monkey D. Luffy, or any of these babies out to really cycle out this leader ability, because you do end up using this leader ability. That's 2 that you summon Gecko. You could usually end up having the whole cycle out by bringing out the bodies and then going straight out to the bigger bodies right here. So Gecko Moria, very, very shiesty ass card. And it's always a staple. It's never going to get hit, in my opinion. I think it's just going to get power crept at this point. Next card we got right here is the Flampy. Very, very good 2K. This is a staple in any BY Luffy list. You guys always need to be running 4 Flampy, not only just for the 2K, but just because of its on play, just being able to stop your starving. A lot of these people that play against BY Luffy that knows what they're doing, they're trying to starve you. So this is a way to compensate you getting starved, being able to take your own life, and also getting a draw as well. This card is a little bit less effective against red decks, because if they rush you very, very quickly and you take your life, you're going to lose very, very fast. So a lot of times when it comes to red, I don't even like using Flampy, okay? But and also against blue, if you guys end up having a big hand size against blue, you can end up just losing your whole hand, like you saw in my last Doflamingo type of profile. Okay, so Flampy, very, very good, one of the base 2Ks. Another card that we have right here is Hiyori. If you guys are a fan of my Enel type of gameplay or matches, I just have to keep it stacked with you. I feel like this is probably one of the most strongest card in any yellow deck, just because it allows you to just use so many things in your life. Yellow is really based around restructuring your life, and Hiyori restructures everything. I mean, you can literally put a loopy and get the trigger and get a pop. You can put this and get a pop. You can put this and get a pop. Shit, you can be on your your 4th turn. No, I was right. Your 2nd turn. You be on your 2nd turn. You could put a fucking ace right here and then summon a small ace, and now you have an ace with your leader being at 7K, because like I said earlier, once you cycle these out, your leader gets a boost, and you also have another 2K body on the field. So when it comes to Hiyori, very, very shiesty ass card. Very shiesty ass card. I feel like it needs to always be ran at 4. And yeah, that's all we have to say about that. Next card we have right here is your board removal. This is the Ryuma of your deck. This is the Lucci of your deck. This is the 5-drop Marco of your deck. This allows you to have some board removal from anything for a cost 4 or lower, and this actually pairs very, very well with the Kuzan as well, just because once you, let's say, you know, turn 2 you bring this out, and then turn 3 you end up doing a Hiyori Luffy play or something like that, right? You can literally attack, bring down the cost of something, and then pop anything from an 8 cost or lower just with this Kuzan after you summon this. So Very, very shiesty card, always a staple. I see some people playing this at 3, but would you play Lucci at 3 and Rob Lucci? Would you play 5-drop Marco at 3? Would you play Ryuma at 3? No. So if that's the case, I feel like this always needs to be at 4, without a doubt, without a doubt. Next card we have right here is the babies. These babies really don't do nothing, so I'm really briefly gonna go over all these. We have the baby right here, we have a baby right here, we have a baby right here. Pretty much the gist of this is that you want to be able to summon these, whether it will be with Gecko, or if you're, you know, at least on Dawn turn 6, or you have 6 Dawn, you can summon these. And if you have any of these bigger bodies in the life, you can bounce them back while also getting a power up to your Luffy as well. So, you know, these babies don't really do nothing. It does have a 1K, so just keep in mind that. The thing I'm going to tell you about these babies though, the thing I'm going to tell you about these babies is that these babies are very, very important late game. Okay, late game, this is the last card you want to try to ditch from the Sabo effect. This is the one of these last cards that you really want to ditch from the leader effect. You always want to try to have these in your hand unless you have to discard it. Because 9 times out of 10, let's say it's late game or something like that. Late game, you already summoned 2 geckos. Now you don't gotta have 2 geckos, but you got this. You have both aces in the grave, and you also have both Sabos in the grave. If you was ditching these out while you're using your leader effect, you could no longer use this leader effect to bounce this back and summon this ace because this is in the grave. Okay, so 9 times out of 10 when it comes to late game, you need to always try to have these in your hand late game, so you don't need to always rely on Gecko. Gecko is good, but you shouldn't just always, oh, I have to have a Gecko, that's not how it works. Gecko is just good for you to establish a board to end games. From my experience personally, I usually end a lot of the games late game when I already have like 1 or 2 geckos on the field and I have 2 little babies in my hand. Because if I have 2 little babies in my hand, that means I could just ditch off 1 card and I already got another cycle, putting him at 9K with 2 extra bodies on the field. So when it comes to these babies, these are the last cards you really want to ditch out of your hand. Try to hold these as long as possible. Okay, so very, very strong card. And the last thing too I've noticed, or I see some players doing, is that I see some players, you know, maybe be Dawn 2, Dawn 3, like anything after Dawn 2, they'll try to just summon this and leave this on the field. You never do that. Don't ever leave this on the field. The only deck I could really see you possibly just summoning any of these little babies and just leave them just straight on the field like that is maybe Blue Doflamingo. But even with Blue Doflamingo, if they end up gravity blading you, you pretty much, especially if they gravity blade your ace and you're only running fucking 2, a lot of people only run 2 or 3 of these things, you're pretty much just assed out. It's going to be very, very hard for you to be able to get that bounce functionality with this ace. So 9 times out of 10, just keep these babies in your hand. Always keep these babies in your hand unless you really do have to drop them, maybe for a counter or something like that. But yeah, that's the gist about this Portuguese ace. The next card we have right here is probably one of the best yellow cards in any yellow deck. If you're playing yellow, whether it be BY Luffy, Anel, or anything like that, this card is a very good game ending card. I feel like out of every game I play, I'm usually cleaning the game with this ace, just because it has rush. Just being able to drop something at 5 and with a rush at 7K. A lot of times when I'm on a cycle, I just keep on sequencing and cycling out my field, I can literally attack with this 2 times in 1 turn. Okay, that's how it is. If you guys don't believe me, just check my last video on me playing against Doflamingo. I think in almost 2 of those 3 of those games, I literally cycled out my ace twice to where I attacked, and then I got rid of it by summoning a gecko, replacing it with, you know, this right here, or a baby, putting it back in the grave, and I end up putting the Monkey D. Luffy back into life. Not Monkey D. Luffy, I end up using the Monkey D. Luffy for its effect, putting this fucking ace back into the life, and then re-summoning it because I already have this on the field due to Gecko. So when it comes to ace, I feel like it's one of the most strongest cards in the deck, and I feel like you always need to be running them. And the main reason why I'm running it, because I refuse to lose the Nami. So that's another reason why I am running this. Next card I have here is a Mikano. This is kind of like a pseudo Hiyori, but the thing about this, and the reason why I like using this, because if you're using this or you see this on like turn 1 or turn 2, I always don't mind, I never mind to really use this, because if I know what everything's in my life from the get-go, that means the rest of the game is going to be easy. I can literally reshape and play around my life depending on what I put there, and on top of that, it's a 2K. So, you know, and if you guys haven't noticed, I feel like minimum in this deck, I think you should always run 10 2Ks. There's some people saying you could run 8, but with Doflamingo being out and having that unblockable blocker, pretty much turning this off, you need all the counters you need, because if you don't, you're going to end up losing to that unblockable blocker. I think it's like Femur or something like that, Perfume Femur. So that's the reason why I'm always a big fan of running at least minimum 10 2Ks. So these are my last two right here. This is the searcher of the deck. You really only want to be using this up until probably like Dawn 9, Dawn 8. And the main reason why is that you really just want to search out all your names. By the time you get to Dawn 10, you want to have one of each name in your graveyard, okay? So when I say one of each name, or if you hear me playing the game and I say, oh, I got a name, I got a name, I got a name, I want this name. I want every single type of name in the graveyard. So we're talking about Sabo, Ace, Luffy, like every single one of these cards you see me scrolling over right now. If you have every single version of this card in the grave, that means you're going to be able to cycle, especially if you end up having two. Okay, late game, you really just want to really try to have 2 or 3 of these Sabos in the grave, because 9 times out of 10 they're not going to be able to attack or climb up that ladder to attack a 9K leader. So that being said, you know, you always want to try to search out for the Sabo. I feel like Sabo, when you get this search, the 2 biggest things I'll always search for is probably the Sabo, baby Sabo, the Aces, because I only have 2. And then after that, I can have these Luffys, because I have so many. I have like these 2 Luffys and this Luffy right here. But I always want to search out the Sabo, and these 2 Aces. Okay, if you guys ever search with this card right here, or even this card right here, you guys always want to try to get the cards that you see the least. Okay, in that case, it's these 2 right here, and just for a security blanket, Sabo as well. So, and also on top of that, if you guys do use this search and you have like 2 of this card and you search, you see another of them, do not pick that second one. Okay, you always search for a different name. So let's say I have 2 of these, 1 of this, so that's 3. The initial card is 4, and then I got 1 of these. I'm missing Luffy. So if I see anything with this Luffy right here, this Luffy right here, this Luffy right here, I'm going to want I'm going to want 1 of these. Okay, if there's a chance where you search and you have this and this in your pretty much your search, and you don't have any of these, you always get the baby, because you can always see 1 of these 2. You always get the baby first. Fact, not opinion. You always get the baby first. You don't get this, because if you don't get the baby and you get 1 of these 2 Luffys here, and you don't have the baby, you pretty much assed out. You can't use it. So these babies are very, very important. So always search out the babies first, in my opinion, unless you're trying to get a Sabo. Sabo you can search out by itself, but well, you know, without the Sabo, or we're not talking about the Sabo, always try to get the babiys first. Well, in this case, you want to try to search any of these 2. So the next card we have right here is Monkey D. Luffy. This allows you to stop the starving. A lot of people are going to be starving you, not attacking your life, because they know if you get to 0, you're going to start popping off. So this allows you to compensate that. Like I said earlier, look at my Doflamingo game. I had everybody starving me, and I literally just summoned this turn 5, and I just keep on emptying out my life, because it doesn't matter if you empty out your life, because not only you're filling your graveyard or your trash, but you're also getting a draw. So it's like nothing even happens. So that's the reason why this card is so good. Very, very base card, one of the boss monsters of the deck. Next card right here is Ice Age. Ice Age, so I'm gonna tell you right now, when it comes to these 2 cards, when it comes to this, and this, these are really just flex spots. Okay, 9 times out of 10 when it comes to BY Luffy, you have 6 to 8 flex spots. If you guys are new, you guys are probably wondering, what is a flex spot? A flex spot is pretty much any cards that, you know, you may have a problem with during your matches, maybe at a local. Okay, if you're going to local and they're playing against a whole bunch of Bonnie or something like that, you're probably want to run maybe like the Kingdom Kongs, the Ice Ages, or the Kuzans. Maybe, you know, you know, you're going to a regional, you end up playing against a lot of blue Doflamingos. You're going to end up trying to run something that compensates for that. So if that is the case, you could try to run something like this, to where this list gets rid of the Kuzans, but it also has more board removal with the finger and the Sabo. Okay, you can even run 4 fingers and 2, or in no Sabos, you can run 4 Sabos, but I feel like this is probably the correct ratio, just because late game Sabo's kind of dead. This particular card's Sabo's dead. If you have no cards in your life, you can't use this effect, so it's kind of dead late game. You're really just using this for a counter. So that's the reason why I really like using this finger gun as well, because late game I can use this as well. Okay, so this list is actually tailored for Doflamingo. So if you guys are looking to try to play against Doflamingo, this may be the list that you're probably going to be looking for if you're specifically trying to beat that deck, or any deck that has low cost characters. Okay, so you know, this is what's trending right now also in OP09. But for me personally, I honestly just like running this because I just have a little bit of everything. You know, I have a little bit of board removal with, you know, these right here. I have a little bit of cost reduction with these two right here. And I just feel like it's more based out. But like I said, these are all tech spaces. These are tech choices. You have 6 to 8 tech spots that you can specifically use depending on what your meta looks like in your local scene, your regional scene, so on and so forth. So in this case, I'm using Ice Age. In my personal list, I always like running Ice Age because it allows me to deal with any characters from a cost 9 or lower to be able to get popped by my Rocket Luffy right here. Okay, so when it comes to this Ice Age, very, very strong card. Yeah, late game and maybe in like some matchup is dead, but I'll rather have my deck more balanced for everything compared to just solely just aiming to beat one deck. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, these are tech spots. These are spots that, you know, no, not tech, these are flex spots. These are flex spots. All these cards right here are flex spots. Whatever your meta is, you could take these out, okay, and you could put whatever you need into the deck that's gonna fit what you're playing against. Okay, in my personal list, I like this. Being able to drop down at 9 cost whenever I feel like it, just being able to pop a 9 cost at my leisure is really, very shicey. Another card that I see a lot of people running in OP09 and I tested out was actually very, very shicey is this card, Kingdom Come Raigyu. Being able to have any card remove on the field is actually crazy. I actually see some people bumping this up to 4 in OP09 just because of Blackbeard. And I'm gonna tell you right now, when you get to 10 Don, this card is actually very, very shicey because you guys could use this card and then use leader effect. Now you're at 2 Don, and then you could actually summon maybe like a blocker or ace. So now you're sitting at 7k attack with maybe a blocker on the field, and you got rid of one of their big bodies, such like as a Goldie Roger or a Blackbeard or a Doflamingo or a Zoro or something crazy like that. So when it comes to board removal, this card is actually very, very shicey. And on top of that, maybe you are playing against Doflamingo, right? You guys are playing against Doflamingo, and this card is pretty much useless because they don't use any bigger bodies. Late game, what you guys could do is that you guys could just use Hiyori, put this into your life, and if the Doflamingo still has 3 or 4 life left and you got maybe 1 or 2, you can literally pop this like a Yamato effect. You get what I'm saying? So this card right here is very, very shicey. And yeah, y'all, so that's all I really have to say about that. And then this is just a searcher. I've kind of taken a long time talking about all this, but like I said earlier, we're talking about a master class. So since this is a master class, the motherfuckers is really sitting there scamming people, talking to you about this deck. I'm going to tell you the ins and outs all for free, so you guys never need to pay for anything again, because that shit's actually crazy. So now, since we actually went over both deck lists, you guys seen both deck lists. So this is my main deck list that I play. This is the Doflamingo, anti-Doflamingo build that I would play if I'm like expecting nothing but Doflamingos, just because that's more board removal for anything from a 5 drop or less. So this is my other version of BY Luffy if you guys are interested in this for Doflamingo. But all in all, I really do just like my build personally, just being able to deal with almost everything at my whim. So this is my list. So now what we are going to do is, like I said earlier in the beginning of the videos, we have all these Dawn. We're actually going to go over every single Dawn turn and telling you guys what is the optimal play depending on the scenario. Like I said earlier, this video is going to be extremely long. I have no clue how long this is going to be, but if we're talking about a master class, this is the list that you guys need to use, because I'm gonna tell you right now, when it comes to OP09 and OP09, nothing really changes. You guys aren't really going to see a guide like this from me when it comes to OP09, because we don't get nothing OP09. If anything, you guys are going to be seeing an updated list like through the meta reports, because there's really nothing going on at OP09. So, you know, if I take a little bit long or wherever the case may be, pause it, take a break, wherever the case may be. But, you know, I'm trying to get as much information to you guys for free as possible, because last thing I want you to do is waste your money like that comment I saw. You guys see it on the screen again if you guys are just skip the whole entire rant. You guys see it on the screen. I'm not trying to have you guys waste that much money. So let's go ahead and get straight to the on. So this is your very first turn. We aren't going to be using leader effect. First turn, if you're going first, you always flampy unless you're playing red. When it comes to playing red, maybe like Zoro or anything that really rushes you down, I really don't like using Flampy, because since they rush so fast, by the time it comes to like second, third, or fourth turn, you could lose if you Flampy, okay? I've actually lost a couple times like this, so when you are playing against red, be wary of that. And also if you are playing against blue, be wary of that as well, okay, because of the pudding. Very, very shicey ass card. It also stops the bricking as well, so very, very good card. Another card, like I said earlier, is Makano. turn 1, you always want to use this card, being able to look at your life and reorder it. If you guys can always find out what your life, all your life cards look like, you're pretty much already ahead of the game. So you really only want to use this card on turn 1. When it comes to turn 2 or turn 3, you really don't want to use this at that point. The only other time you'll probably want to use this card, the only other time that you guys really should be using this card is if you're getting starved. If you're getting starved and you're stuck on maybe 1 life and you need to get rid of that 1 life to be able to use the leader ability, this is when you probably use this card. But I usually like using Makino probably on my first turn, whether I'm going first or second. This is a searcher. You always use this. You use this whenever you want. You just search out everything. It just all depends. If you guys ever see any of these cards, pretty much if you guys ever see any of these cards going first or second, use them, okay? But never use 2 cards that get rid of your life. So if you end up going first and you're going second, you have a Makino and a Flampy, you never use these 2 that fast, because if you use the Makino, that means, you know, you're only going to have 3 cards, and if you use the Makino first and then use the Flampy, I mean, you kind of already know what you're getting anyways, you know what I mean? So, you know, if you guys are going to use the Makino, you do not Flampy in the next turn unless they are starving you, because they're going to start attacking you, and if they don't attack you, they're going to starve you. And if you see you are getting starved, then that's when you Flampy. And yeah, that's what you do for turn 1. So turn 2, we have Flampy, we have Hiyori. So you aren't really going to use any of these, to be honest with you. You could use Hiyori and put something like this into the life, so if they do attack you, you could get the Luffy trigger. Maybe you don't have the Luffy baby to really do the combo like that. But if you're really just sitting on 2 Don, you really don't want to use any of these cards. Like I said earlier, if you are going first, you are going second, the combo, what you would like to do is probably like Flampy and Garp to get a search, or maybe even a Garp search and a Makino. If I have Makino and a Garp in hand, what I really like to do is that I like to use the Makino first, so I see what's in my whole entire life, reorder that, then Garp out, okay, then Garp out, and then get a card for the next following turn, so I can actually start cycling out. And also, if you are going second for this Makino and you are reordering your life, let's say you have you know, this Luffy and you have this Flampy, right? You always put the Flampy on top, because when it's time for them to attack, if they attack you, they're going to be taking the Flampy, and they're usually only going to have 1 attack unless they're playing rush. So if that's the case and they end up attacking this Flampy, and then it's your turn and you have this Monkey D Luffy in your life, and you have this card right here, now you don't even need to use the Hiyori when it's on your second turn. You get what I'm saying? You can just drop this Luffy, bounce this back. Now you're at 7k. You got a fucking character on board, so you could pop anything on the board, and you have an extra 2 Don to where you could use the Garp, you could use the Searcher, or if you're ballsy, you could even use the Flampy. So that's what you can really do when it comes to 2 Don, okay, 2 Don. But yeah, I think that's all we got for 2 Don. The biggest thing I'm gonna tell you about 2 Don is don't ever just summon these. I see some people playing this deck, and you know, for 2 Don they just start summoning these babies. Like I said in the beginning of the video, these are the most important cards in your whole entire deck, okay? Late game, I'm talking late game when you're trying to win. After your geckos are burnt out, these are your most important cards, because not only if you can bounce and use leader effect, if you guys do the whole cycle late game with these babies and the leader effect, that's 6 Dons. That means you have 4 extra Don to play with. So you know, you always want to hold these in your hand unless you truly have to get rid of them. That's what you do for your second Don. Third Don is pretty much the same. I mean, you could just use the Flampy. There's really nothing major. A lot of times if I'm going first and it's my second turn, I don't even try to Flampy or anything like that. I just go straight maybe into a Garp. Or a lot of times if I did go into Garp first turn, I usually just put 3 Don on Garp attacking at 5, then I just attack at lead with this Monkey D Luffy, okay? So you don't really do too much if you're going first and it's your second turn, you have 3 Don. So that's the gist of that. Next Don we have is 4 Don. So 4 Don gets a little shicey. 4 Don, your deck starts opening up a little bit. There's a lot of options you could do, okay? There's a lot of options. The Flampies and the Makinos are all the same, but what changes is the Hiyori plays. So if you are going second, I always like going second in my opinion, but if you guys do plan on going second, right, you guys can drop the Kuzan. This is where you really start dropping the Kuzan. This is why Kuzan was so strong, because it gave you a second turn play. Just being able to drop this card, get a draw back, and then having this card on the field. If this card is on the field, this requires your opponent to do something. If your opponent does nothing to Kuzan and you leave this on the field, more than likely 9 times out of 10, you're pretty much going to win the game. That's how strong Kuzan is. So a lot of times when you summon this on your second turn, you are going second. This applies so much pressure to the point where the opponent stops everything they're doing and focuses in on this Kuzan, because they know if they don't get rid of this, it's gonna fuck them later. Hey, my bad, I had to take a break. I've been sitting here recording this for 43 minutes, so it looks like we're gonna be sitting here for a while, but it's okay. So the big thing of this Don 4 turn, the second turn, if you are going second, is this Hiyori. Hiyori opens up your whole entire deck. This is literally a toolbox, okay? 9 times out of 10, if you guys end up having maybe a Sabo and Sabo, and this is one thing I'm gonna talk about right now. If you guys are going second, right, and you guys have Hiyori, Sabo, and Sabo, you never go into this. You never go into these two, because you're getting rid of your baby, number one, early. Okay, and then on top of that, you're getting rid of your blanket protection. The last thing you want to do is summon this Sabo with nothing to protect. So a lot of time this might be your turn 3 or 4 turn, because you really just want to use this ability just for his blankets effect as well. If you guys don't know what I'm even talking about, pretty much Hiyori takes the top life, put a card back from your hand. 9 times out of 10, what you're going to end up doing is that you're going to end up putting one of these bigger cost bodies into the life, and then you can actually use one of these babies to summon and then pop them back. So now you have one of these bigger bodies on field, whether it be the Sabo, Ace, or the Luffy's, and you'll also be at a 7K leader. Okay, if you guys are asking me which is better between using the Hiyori play and being able to cycle out the Luffy, the Sabo, or the Ace, and the Kuzan, or just putting any of these two back, it just depends on what deck you're playing. If you're playing against something like, I don't know, Red Blue Marco. Let's say you're playing against something like Red Blue Marco and they have a whole bunch of high cost beaters on the board late game. I want Kuzan on the field. If you're playing against something that's low cost, so if we're talking like I don't know, Zoro or Doflamingo or something like that, you don't want Kuzan on the field because that shit doesn't do anything. You probably want Luffy on the field and start popping their board and being able to get that draw. And like I said earlier, or if I didn't say earlier, a lot of times when you get this effect going, you have to be at 2 life. So if you are at 4 life, do not use this Hiyori and bring out this. If you're at 4 life and you see they're starving you, do not bring this out, because you have to be at 2 life in order for this to be activated, okay? 9 times out of 10, if I was you guys and I was getting starved and I was playing against something like that low cost, I would just go into probably this right here or the Ace, depending on if you have the baby Ace. I mean, there is another possibility to where you guys could put some of these cards back into the deck as well, or the life as well on top, because it does have some crazy triggers. This is pretty much all board removal, especially this card, because early game you could put this back. It says everybody's life is still really high. You're pretty much popping anything on the field as well. So it all depends on the board state, and that comes with another thing. There's one thing when it comes to learning this deck, and it's another thing knowing your matchups. Not only do you need to know how to play this deck, you actually need to know your matchups as well, because it also tells you what particular plays you need to do. Okay, you can't just play the same matchup the same every single time, because you're going to lose. You have to play according to who you're playing against. Okay, so that's another disclaimer I need to tell you. So let's go ahead and go into Don 5. So Don 5, nothing really changes here. The only change here that we have is if you are getting starved. Okay, you can still do your Hiyori plays if you want, but the biggest thing is when you're getting starved. If you're getting starved, remember, in order for you to use this card right here and this Ace, you have to be at 2 life or lower. So if you're not at 2 life or lower and you end up summoning these cards, you will not get the proper effect that's listed on the card. That's the first thing. If they are starving you, like I said earlier, or if you are bricking, this is when you actually go into this Sabo right here. This is where you go into the Sabo. Or, you know, maybe if you are running the that one build I told you about, where you're actually just going strictly against Doflamingo, right? If it is your Don 5 turn, you could just use something like this on your turn as well if you are going first. Okay, so this is also if you are using this card. So a lot of times you just have to read the board. Okay, that's what it really is. And when it comes to reading the board, this is the problem that I have of all these master classes and stuff like this. I could tell you guys all this shit. I could tell you guys what everybody does and, you know, how to play the deck. But the biggest way to get better at this game is just to fucking play. Okay, I come from the fighting game community, and a lot of people told me when I first started playing like Super Smash Brothers Melee, that was my biggest thing when I used to play with Mango and Lucky and all the best people ever in the world. In order for you to be good at this game, you have to get your ass beat. In order for you to kick ass, you have to get your ass beat. That's just how it is. You're gonna take a lot of losses, but in order for you to start winning, you have to take those losses, because if you don't, you're never gonna learn. So, you know, just take that with a grain of salt. If you guys truly want to get better, you have to put the time in. You got to put time in. I know that's hard for a lot of people because they're busy, but you know, that's the truth. But when we talk about Dawn 5 turns, you just have to read the board. If you're bricking, go into this. If you need some board removal, go into this. You don't really use this. Actually, you can't even use this. I don't even know why that's there. You can use the Hiyori play. You can use I wouldn't think about using the Flampy. Okay. I probably think about not using the Flampy. I probably wouldn't use this unless I'm putting the Hiyori there. But a lot of the times you just have to read the board. What I usually do for Dawn 5, if I am going first, either I'm going to Sabo or I'm going into Luffy. You really want one of these two on board, especially if you're bricking. But pretty much in a nutshell, if you're bricking, go into this. If you're starving, you go into this. If you expecting big bodies, go into this. If you want to apply pressure, go into this. If you need some searches, go into any of this. So yeah, you just have to read your hand, read the board. Let's go on to Dawn 6. Let's go on to Dawn 6. So Dawn 6 gets a little shicey, actually, because what happens is that when you get to Dawn 6, 6 is the magical number for Luffy. In order for you to get your full cycle out to make Luffy 9K with 2 characters on the board, you need 6 Dawn. That is the very, very important number to know in this deck. 6. 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. Just keep on repeating it with me. 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. When it comes to 6 Dawn, that is your golden number, because if you do the 6 Dawn, you can use leader ability, bring 2 characters from life, and then you can summon your baby aces. Okay, this is where your leader ability starts getting unlocked. Okay, this is where you really want to start abusing your leader ability if you can. Like I said earlier, if you are getting starved, you need to go into this Luffy, you need to go into this Flampy, because when you get to Dawn 6, this is where you actually need to start, you know, getting close to 0 Dawn, because not 0 Dawn, 0 life, because if you don't, you're probably going to start losing the game soon, because you're just going to start getting too far behind, because the opponent's going to start having all these big characters on the field. They're going to start having all these big crazy shit on the field, pretty much establishing their board while you're sitting there still getting starved out. So once you start getting to like 6, 7, 8, 9 Dawn, this is where the emergency switch needs to be flipped. You need to start using your Flampies, you need to start using your Luffys, you need to start shit. That's the reason why Ragu's in here, because let's say you're getting starved and you're still at fucking 4 and they got a whole bunch of crazy shit on the field. If it gets to that point, sometimes I might even just go for the Ragu or the Kingdom Come, just so I could be at 1, so next turn I could just use the Flampy, and then if I use the Flampy on my next turn, I'm at 8 Dawn, I'm at 7 Dawn. That means I could get the whole cycle with an extra Dawn left to attack. So you know, like I said earlier, you just have to read the board. But the biggest thing about this is that you can really just cycle out your leader ability at this point. 6 is the magical number. You have to remember 6. You have to remember 6. And the only way that you don't remember 6 is when you're using Gecko. If you are using Gecko, I don't even know why this is here, but I'm glad this is here. If you are using Gecko, that 6 shit goes out the window, because you're just using Gecko on the leader ability. If you're not using this Gecko, you need 6 Dawn in order for your ability to activate. So just make sure you take note of that. But like I said earlier, it's all about reading the board, reading the board, reading the board. You have to know what you're playing against and how to execute it. Okay, the next card we have, not the next card, the next, I thought I was going to do a market watch. The next card that I said it again, the next Dawn we're talking about is 7 Dawn. 7 Dawn is just like 6 Dawn. The only difference is that Gecko should not be here, and you can start dropping your Ragu. So if you're like at 7 Dawn and you don't really care about what's in your life, and you just need to be able to clear out your life, just bring this Kingdom Come down, dropping you down to 1, and then that will bring you down to 1 Dawn or 1 life. But it's a-okay if you do that, because like I said, you don't want to get to 10 Dawn, you still have 3 or 4 life. You just start doing that, and I'm gonna just keep it a stack of you. You're probably going to lose the game because you're way too far behind. There's the only difference compared to everything else I said. You can even do the cycle as well. A lot of times when I get to like 6 and 7 Dawn, mainly 6, is that I can start dropping the Ice Age to the Luffy, pretty much killing any, and I mean any, 9 drops or lower. That's the only main combo that you really have to start seeing, is this Ice Age into this Luffy. So that's something you guys probably want to look out for as well, especially on 6 Dawn as well. Not 6, 7 Dawn. If you are on 7 Dawn, you are going first, you can actually do the whole leader effect with 6, drop the Ice Age, so now you're done with Dawn, but you already had a 9K leader, you brought out 2 characters, and now you get to pop anything with a 9 drop or lore. So very, very shiesty, very, very shiesty. Next Don that we end up having to go over is this right here. Is 8 Don. So for 8 Don, it's just like 6. It's just now you can start dropping Gecko. I'm gonna tell you right now, don't ever drop a Gecko unless you already reordered your life. Okay, if you already reordered your life earlier or set up your life maybe with a Makino or something like that, and you know what's there, then that's when you go out into Gecko. There could be another instance why you need to go into Gecko. Maybe they're starving you and you don't have a Flampy, or if you don't have a you know, a Kingdom Come or any of this other shit. You could use the Gecko to bring out a Hiyori. And if you do that, you can bring out the Hiyori, cycle out your life, and put something there to bounce back. Or you can bring back a Flampy, or if you need a search, you can bring out this Garp. It's real situational, so it's really hard for me to tell you what move you should do, because it's very, very situational depending on the circumstance that you are particularly in at that moment in time. But for as a blanket, you know, knowledge-based thing, you really do not want to be using Gecko unless you truly have to. Gecko is your only boss monster of the deck. Gecko is your key combo piece of your deck, so you really want to be saving Gecko for your Don 10 turn. Okay, so you know, I don't really have nothing else much to say left about this Don 8 turn. Just know, do not summon this Gecko turn 8, turn 9, turn, no, really just turn 8 and turn 9. You really just want to save it for turn 10, unless you already reshaped your life with Makino or possibly a Hiyori as well. So that's the only thing I have to say about turn 8. So for turn 9, we got this right here. Okay, so turn 9 is pretty much like turn 8. Do not summon your Gecko. It's pretty much everything I already told you already. And yeah, let's go straight out into this right here. So turn 10, it's the only combo you guys really need to know. It's the Gecko and the Luffy combo. So pretty much turn 10, you need to make sure your trash is already filled up. Okay, I don't know if I said that at all throughout this whole video, which is crazy. You pretty much want to make sure your trash is all the way filled up. And with that being said as well, if you just need to just make sure your trash is filled up. Okay, because everything you're gonna get out of your trash, unless you're bringing stuff to the life with your hand, and that's the last thing you want to do. And also, when you get to using his effect, you really want to get rid of things that don't have counters. So like if you're using this, get rid of the Ace, get rid of the Kuzan, get rid of some of these events. You never want to just get rid of any of your counters as well. Okay, so but yeah, that's the combo for Don 10. Don 10, you really just want to Gecko, Monkey D. Luffy, and it's all about sequencing. Okay, the biggest thing about the sequencing is, since we are on Don 10, which is the bread and butter of this deck, is really cycling out the Sabo. It's sequencing. There's going to be a lot of times that you guys are going to see on the screen. I actually put it on the screen right now. You guys see the sequencing on the screen right now. You know, I attack, and then I go into the Gecko, and then I'm actually bringing back out the Ace I initially attacked with. Right, you guys see it on the screen. You guys should be seeing it on the screen. And then I'm really attacking for game. That's what this deck really all boils down to, is sequencing. And there's really no way for me to teach you guys that. Sequencing comes with playtesting. Okay, if you guys want to know sequencing and what needs to get played here or there, this comes from you just playing the game. I can tell you what needs to be there, how it needs to be there, whatever the case may be. But just to keep it a stack with you guys, this just comes from fucking playtesting. Okay, this comes strictly from playtesting. It's all about sequencing, and that's why this is the hardest deck in the game to play. It takes a long time for you to get good at this deck, but if you guys really want to get good at it or play it, you can also do that as well. But just like I said, don't press yourself. Don't press yourself. You feel what I'm saying? Don't press yourself. Take it day by day. Okay, the only reason why I'm so shiesty with this deck at the moment is because I think it was during spring break this year when this deck first came out. I was playing the OCG, the East, and I literally spent all my 2 weeks, 15-20 hours a day playing this. So I put like over 200-300 hours in over that spring break, and I just learned how to play the deck. And that's the reason why, you know, you see how I'm playing. Everybody's asking me if I play rank. It's because, like, I know, look, we know what we're doing over here, gang. And the last thing I want to do is try to charge you. But this is pretty much everything you do when it comes to Dons 1 through 10. So we went through over the Dons, went over the deck profiles, we went over Texas. One other thing I'm gonna show you that I don't see anybody else talking about is the artillery. Okay, the artillery. See, that's what this is for. These are all of the tech cards you could possibly use in this deck. Okay, these are all the tech cards that you could possibly use in this deck. I've seen lists run one of these at some point in time. Not everyone runs these versions of this deck with these tech cards, but these are also tech options depending on what your locals is using. Like I said earlier, you have like 6 to 8 flex spots in your deck, so depending on what your meta is looking like, you can probably fit one of these cards into your deck. We'll go over them briefly real quick. So Borsalino is very, very good for another blocker. Blanket protection, 6k on the opponent's turn. Only bad thing about this is that if it's your turn and you attack life, and you know, anything that allows your characters to get killed while it's on your turn, this effect is null and void. But this card is very, very strong. It's mainly good for cards or decks that have high, you know, KO effects. Okay, so high KO effects. In Doflamingo's case, this card is pretty much shit because they just bottom decks. So this is really only good if black is like the dominating meta. You know, Marco is like the dominating meta or something like that. You get what I'm saying? So Borsalino would have been good for like nationals or something like that. But as speaking of right now, it's not it. Borsalino's definitely not the move. Kuzan is also a tech people use for nationals. It was really just for the body matchups. I've never been a fan of this Kuzan. I refuse to pay 10 Don and get rid of my Gecko play just to drop this shit. Hey, it works for some people, but just to keep it a stack of you guys, I would never drop this. I feel like it's a wasted card in people's deck, especially if you're only playing like one. I mean, at that point, I might as well take the bitch out of I'm just playing one. And especially in this meta going into OP09, nobody's really playing this Kuzan at the moment. Another card I see some people teching is this Isshu. Isshu is definitely solid, but in this particular deck, I'd rather go into Gecko. You know, if I had to choose between a Gecko and this, I'll go into Gecko all the time. But this is also a shiesty as you know, tech if you guys are interested in trying it out though. The next card we have right here is Perona. Perona is really good because not only it's a 2-gate, but it allows you to rip a card from their opponent's hand. The name of the game of One Piece is getting rid of their opponent's hand. And if you are not a fan of Makino, or if you just don't like Makino, you can actually take out the 2 Makinos and put in 2 Peronas. You'll still have 2 2Ks in, so you'll still have those 10 2Ks, but you'll have a little bit more utility if you're not really a fan of looking at your life and whatever the case may be. It is a 4 cost, that's the only difference. But you know, it could look, this could be used with a Gecko revive or just on your 4 Dawn or your second turn. Just on your second turn. So this is also a very, very good option. There's actually a couple tournament winning decks that actually use this card as well. You can just look it up on One Piece top decks, but this is also another good option. I see some people playing this Sabo. I'm actually not even sure if this card is even out yet or not, but I see some people in OP09 pretty much use this card. All it is really just life manipulation and also a power boost. It is a 5-drop, but for all this, I'd rather just use Hiyori. But this is another option. Another option is this Edward Newgate. This is pretty much like a like a Hiyori effect. It's also kind of similar. I also don't even have it on here. It's right here. It's kind of similar to this card. These 2 cards are kind of like the same way. These are kind of like reverse Hiyori's. Very good options, but you know, they're real teched out. If you guys can try it out. Like I said, you guys have 6 to 8 flex spots in your deck. So that being said, you can really try these out. Actually the tournament that just happened at OP09, I think it was a 2nd place team with BY Luffy. He was actually playing 2 Ivikovs. If you guys look at my older deck list breakdown, I actually used to use this because this card, when it works, it's pretty shiesty. And also OP09, the 2nd place team actually was using this for the BY Luffy. Another option is this right here, this Yamato. Good option, but just to be honest with you guys, I don't really see it be used like that. Another card right here is Dragon Claw. Just being able to KO a 4 cost or less and being able to give one of your counters 4,000 counters. Very, very shiesty. It does cost 2 Dawn, so a lot of times you aren't really going to be using this card because you're always going to use your Dawn. You're never just going to have your Dawn standing up, but it is also a good option if you guys just want to play around with it. Another card that I'm also a real big fan of is this card right here. It does require 2 Dawn, but it trashes 1 card from your hand. This card is really just used in Gecko Moria with Perona, just being able to rip the cards. But this card might come in clutch late game where they might have like 2 or 3 cards, and you use you use literally this card, you might get rid of the 2K or 1K, you know what I mean? So it's also a good option. Another card that I see people use is Tempest Kiss. Just being able to drop a cost by -3 in the particular turn is actually crazy, and it also gives you a draw as well. This is a very good option, but this is mainly used in just black mono decks, so very good option, but I feel like it's just, you know, there's better things to use. The next thing we have right here is Shockwave. Shockwave is definitely decent. It's kind of similar to this card right here, but let's be real, nobody gonna be using this. It is a good tech, but I don't really see, I haven't never seen anybody use this card before. That's just something I looked up and saw and just, you know, bring to your guys' attention. Next card we got right here is Thunderbolt. Now this particular card, I see a lot of people using this card. This is almost kind of like a reverse Sabo. Okay, this is literally like a reverse Sabo. The main reason why I'm not a big fan of this card is because when it's late game and you don't have any life, this card is dead. You can't do anything. You can't do anything with this card, so you literally just sits in your hand. That's the reason why I'm not a fan of this card personally. I see a lot of topping decks do use this in the OCG and OP09, but me personally, I like cards that have utility at the beginning, middle, and end stages of a game. This card does not have that, which means I'm not going to be playing that. Next card we have right here is 3 million volt Thunderbird. Very, very strong and based as card. And yeah, gang, I don't really see this being used. This is mainly used in an L, and I see some people using this as well for some type of board removal as well. But you know, this and on top of that, it is a 1 drop. Okay, it is a 1 cost, so this might be an interesting tech as well. These are all flex spots, but to be honest with you, what I came up with already is between one of these 2 lists. This is my main list, and if I'm actually looking to play against something that's rushing or something with low cost, this is something that I will be playing right here for like Doflamingo, Zoro, red green law, you know, decks like that. But if we're just talking about in general, I'm just a real big fan of this particular deck right here. Okay, so this is pretty much the deck list. We went over the dons, we went over what the deck does, how it functions, you know, sequencing, and everything. So I think it's just time for us to actually just go into the game. I usually never have games when it comes to my actual, you know, deck profiles or stuff like that, but since this is a master class, probably the most corniest shit I've ever heard in my life. You know, we're gonna have some games. I'm not sure there's gonna be all off meta shit, but you know, let's just go ahead and get straight into it though. So we are back. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. I've been sitting here in this damn chair for so long, I'm getting fucking exhausted, but I'm always down for the game, down for the set, so I gotta let the streets know how we play this. So he went first, didn't do nothing. We're gonna go for this Makino. Like I said earlier, we always going to be Makino first turn if I'm going second. But you see how I'm reordering the list. Kuzan is at top because just in case he does attack me, I can and will have just like what he did. Look, he attacked me. Cool. I'm gonna take this. I have the Kuzan. Let's see what he goes into. He goes into the Zoro, which is actually perfect because now I just get my draw. My Luffy's already there. Don't need to waste the 2K. I'm going to go ahead and summon this Luffy right here. Okay, summon this Luffy. Now, since we have 1 life left, pop. He just wasted a turn. And now we're about to attack at 9K. Or should we attack at 9K? We're just going to get a draw, actually. I think we should probably just get a search. Yeah, because let's just get a search because we do have a Sabo. We always get baby Sabo. Like I said, you always want to get the babies first. And then you go ahead and attach and attack at 8. He takes that. Cool. And just to let you guys know, this is also another one of our harder matchups as well. A lot of times, RP Luffy, we're probably going to lose against this deck. But, you know, if we can high roll and pretty much spin him up, we should be able to pack him up. So far, we're actually playing really, really shiesty though. We actually go out into the Nami. Okay. Goes out into the Nami. See what he does. He's gonna attack at 7, and that is the power of RP Luffy. You guys seeing right there, just attach 1 Don, attack at 7. And we're always taking this because next turn we have the trigger effects. Do we use this? No, I don't think we use this. Maybe you do use it. Okay, cool. We can use it. Okay, so it's our turn, and as you guys can see, I told you guys earlier, the magic number is 6. The magic number is 6, but we don't have another baby in hand. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this leader ability. And since we are bricking, we are going to put probably Yeah, Luffy at the bottom, Sabo at the top. There we go. Bounce back. There we go. So we bounced back. What we were trying to do is that we were really just trying to fish out a Luffy. We did not get the Luffy on this, but since we have 2 Don left, we're gonna go ahead and use this, get a search. We actually still don't get the Luffy, but we end up getting the aces, and we don't have any aces. So we're just, it doesn't matter which one we get. If anything, we can get, we just get the big one because we could use the big one compared to the little one. So we didn't end up getting our second Luffy, but that's a-okay. We're gonna attack at 10 again. He's gonna have to start giving us some counter. Oh, he actually, okay, so he's at 1 life. Okay, so from what it looks like, and this is also, I'm pretty sure this is OP09. I'm actually not even sure which one I even clicked, but I'm pretty sure this is OP09 that I'm playing in. But nonetheless, this is how you're playing or should play this matchup. This is every play that you're doing. I feel like it's the personal way to play this, but you know, he actually goes into the 9-drop white beard, which is crazy. Attacking at 8. We're just gonna let that go. We're just gonna let that go because we already have, like I said earlier, earlier in the video, you guys always want to just fill your grave. You already have a Rocket Luffy in grave, so it doesn't matter if you lost it or not. So now we're on turn 8. He has a white beard on field. This is actually kind of difficult. So one thing I didn't tell you guys about To BY Luffy is that sometimes, like in this particular situation, we might just want to use our leader effect to just have some type of security so we don't lose, because I know the Sabo's not gonna be able to block everything he summoned, and on top I don't know if he's running anything with rush. So in this particular situation, I think the smartest thing for us to do is maybe use the leader effect. Maybe use leader effect. Let me see. Let's see. So we use leader effect and bring back 2 big bodies into life, right? I think that's what we do. We're gonna trash ace. Okay, and then we're gonna put the small ace at the bottom. Should we put small ace at the bottom? No, let's put the Luffy at the top. Let's put small Luffy at the bottom because small Luffy doesn't really do anything in this matchup like that. And put the big Luffy at top. Maybe we're putting big Luffy at top because we don't care if this goes back to the deck. Just like we don't really care if Rocket Luffy goes back to the deck because, you know, RP Luffy plays so many big body cost monsters. You know, it doesn't really matter. So we're gonna go out straight to the Kuzan to try to unbrick our hand. What we're really missing right now at this moment is the babies. Like I said, in order for this deck to really function, you need to really have the babies. He counters out, which is completely fine. And it's his turn. But yeah, y'all, I think I might just have like 1 or 2 games. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm getting kind of tired just sitting here talking this much. My voice is starting to go out. So I think we just might do this game and 1 more game. We're gonna leave this up depending on if we win or lose, because if we lose, I can tell you why we lost. But you know, it's just crazy that motherfuckers is really charging classes for this shit. It just tells me they have no creative bone in their body to where they have to create shit. Because let's be real, if you was really popping like that, you would just, oh yeah, okay, yeah, this is OP09. So this is definitely OP09 that we are playing against right now, because he did just drop this fucking Monkey D. Luffy. So you guys are in for a treat. We're playing against a cracked ass player. We're playing OP09 RP Luffy. He summons this thing. You guys don't know what it does. It pretty much has rush. 10 drop Luffy. He's gonna attack. That's fine. So I'm gonna lose both of these, but like I said, we're gonna block out, and then he's gonna attack at 7. And if he attacks at 7, I think we have to discard 2. Or do we just let this Rocket Luffy go? I think do we keep it? I'm not sure if we keep this or not. So I'm not sure if I really want to get rid of 2 2Ks. Yeah, I don't really want to get rid of 2 2Ks, so I'll just let him have it. So it's our turn. So he probably has a red beam in his hand. Y'all guys always have to pay attention to that when you're playing against red. He has 1 Don up, which means he probably has a red beam. He has this Monkey D. Luffy out on field. He has his white beard, so he has a really demanding field. Yeah, this field's pretty cracked right now, but this is what this deck does in OP09. We're gonna go straight out to Gecko. We're gonna get the Luffy. and Sabo. And honestly, bro, we're gonna be at 9K though, so I'm not sure. So let's discard this Luffy, bring back the Sabo and the Luffy. We're gonna bounce back. Cool. We're gonna bounce back this. Cool. We're gonna reshuffle our hand. We need the Gecko. We're gonna get rid of this Ice Age, and the sad part is we actually have to get rid of one of our 2Ks, which is actually, or we just get rid of the Gecko. I actually done on accident. We get rid of the Gecko because, oh, look, I got rid of the Gecko just for the simple fact that I might think we actually might need all these counters for next turn. So let's just gonna attack at 6, or attack, yeah, we're gonna attack at 6. He actually has this broken ass card, bro. That card is so broken. Gum Gum Giant is so fucking broken. And that's why I said I do not want anybody saying shit about Gecko Moria, bro. That shit is crazy. He discarded 1 card, made his character an extra 4K power, and he got 2 draws. Fucking insane, bro. Fucking insane. So we're actually in a very, very hard position right here. He only has 1 life. Yeah, that was a good play for me to get rid of that Gecko there, because there's no reason really to hold on to that Gecko, because he only has 1 life and you have all these bodies. He's gonna try to win right here. That's what it is. He's really just gonna try to win right here. So he rests by blocker. Oh my gosh. There's no shot. There's no fucking shot. And that's why I said this deck is shiesty, bro. He can literally just attack me at face. He can literally just put all his Dawn on 1 character and attack me at face. But I got 6 2Ks in hand, so I don't know, bro. I don't know if we're gonna win this shit. I really don't know if we're gonna win. We might just have a loss. He attacks me at 10, so he's already misplaying. We're gonna ditch 1. We're gonna ditch 1. Cool. We're surviving off our 2Ks right now. We're gonna survive off our 2Ks. If we survive this turn, we definitely have game, because I don't see him going out into a blocker. The fact that he rested my Sabo is actually trash. And that's why I said when it comes to OP09, BY Luffy really takes a back seat, because like I honestly think it's probably back of A1, possibly top of Brace. He actually attacks me at 10. He's misplaying. Okay, cool. And then he's probably gonna put all that at face, right? He's only at 6 though. He has 6, 7, that's at 13. So he goes at 13, I'm at 9. Yeah, so he's at 13, I'm at 9. So 11, 13, 15. He just threw. He just fucking threw. I know he's probably thinking, bro, you have all this, yeah, and then he just quit. Yeah, so that's what it was. He literally lost. I think he might have lost. Well, he did that right. He attacked at 9, he attacked at 10, he's high. There's really no reason to, you know, put Dawn on him since he is so high, and just put everything at face. So, you know, good game. He quit. Let's go on to the next game. All right, we are back. This is gonna be my last game, gang, because I'm actually getting tired. Look at this video on how long I've been recording. We're looking at 1 hour and 22 minutes. This is probably gonna be the longest video I have on the channel. So, you know, getting kind of low out of energy sitting here all at once, but it's our first turn. We don't got to play, so it's all good, all good. But yeah, man, I hope that last game actually did help you guys, man. He attacks full at face, completely fine. We're not going to use the trigger because there's nothing on board. And like I said, there's some things that you just really need to learn how to read the game, such as him attacking. It seems like he's just going to keep on attacking us at face, which is fine. We're going to go into the Garp, get a Surge, get out the Sabo. And yeah, that's just something to read too. Usually red decks, they still attack you at face, even though it may hurt them. We're going to attack at full at face as well. Attack at 8, he's going to take that. And I'm actually not a real big fan. Not a big fan. I wouldn't say I'm not a big fan. That's actually a lie on my end. Definitely a lie. I'm just not really too familiar with how this red yellow Sabo works. Okay, I don't really play against this deck that often, but I heard it's a shiesty ass deck, so let's see what they do. So he actually brings out this Ivankov, and it looks like he cheated out this penguin thing. I don't even know what this card is. This Lindbergh cheats this out. He's gonna attack at 5. We're always gonna take this. We're gonna use this, and we're gonna get the big ace here. Always get the big ace. Like I said, you always have to search out for the particular names you are looking for. Okay, you always search out for the names that you do not have. I had a Sabo, Luffy, and Sabo in hand. We got the ace, and we ended up getting another version of this ace. This is actually a very good ace, not ace, Sabo in this matchup, actually, with some board removal. But since he is attacking us, I really don't want to drain our own life in order for us to attack anything, okay, because he's gonna attack us regardless. So like I said, it's all about reading the board and just his play style. His play style is going to be attacking us. We're sitting at 6 Dawn, 2 life. Next turn he definitely will be trying to attack us. So let's just go, let's attack first. Like I said earlier, it's always a sequencing. If you guys lay out a character as your final thing on the turn, that's the last thing you need to do. He counters out. He actually gives us a 2k, which is actually solid. We're gonna summon this Luffy and just pop this Lindbergh here. And yeah, gang, I am fucking tired, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm tired. I've been editing this video. Yeah, I'm tired as hell, man. I've literally been just taking little spurts of me editing a video. Now I'm recording a match right now, so you know. But anyways, I hope this guide has really been helping, man. I'm not sure how this is really going to turn out, but you know, hopefully you guys, it helps you guys. You know what I mean? Nobody had a guide like this for when I started playing, so hopefully this helps. He brings out this jourdäußu, bringing down my attack by 1,000, so I'm at 4k. He does have the Ivankov and the red yellow Sabo. If you guys did not know, this is also OP09 as well. So, you know, if you guys want to see what this red yellow Sabo looks like with the new Revo support, this is definitely something you guys probably need to tap in and pay attention to, because I think this guy's playing this correct. I don't know if you guys play red yellow Sabo, let me know below. He's gonna go ahead and attack me at lead for 7. Okay, he puts 1 Dawn on. He's gonna use leader effect. All right, just imagine if our leader effect was fucking 1 Dawn. That shit would be crazy. He attacks us at 6. We're always gonna eat this up. No diddy, no diddy. And we're actually looking good. And the fact we're not playing against a blue deck, we're actually looking good for our hand size, so he can't putting us. But this is what we want. We're at 8 Dawn, so we have 2 Dawn to play with. We can get the full cycle. We have a Luffy and a little Sabo in hand with the Rocket Luffy and a big Sabo in hand. If anything, I would have, you know, actually the Rocket Sabo is probably what I want. We're gonna go ahead and use leader ability. Get rid of this Sabo because this is what we're gonna go into anyways, so it doesn't make sense. Or maybe we should get rid of this Kuzan. That's fine. I probably should have kept that Kuzan, to be honest with you, but I guess it didn't really matter. Could have bluffed something, but it's all good. We're gonna go straight out into this Luffy. Pop that, cool. And we're gonna go out into our Sabo, get some new cards, be able to reshuffle our hand, and we're gonna discard 2 cards. We are missing the little ace. Missing a little ace. Not sure what they play, so we can get rid of the Sabo though. Get rid of that Sabo and I don't know, Ice Age. I don't know, maybe an ace. Yeah, let's get rid of the ace because I'm not sure if this deck plays high body characters. So just in case he does, we do have the Ice Age in the back. So we're gonna attack at face for 13. So the gist of this red yellow Sabo is just him keep bouncing back to his life for this Revo support. I don't know, I never played this deck when it came to you know, with the Revo support OP09. So we're literally just playing as we go. I really don't even know what's going on at this point. Just reading the cards accordingly, okay? Reading the cards accordingly. Okay, he ends up going into Koyola. All right. What's he gonna do, bro? It's low-key kind of playing a little slow. I'm over here about to fall asleep. So he cheats out this Ivankov. So it seems like this 5-drop Ivankov on play cheats out another 5 or lower. More so like a 4 or a Revolutionary Army. He cheats out this thing. Never seen this thing before, but I also do know for the Revolutionary Army, if it's activate main, I'm getting rid of that. 100% getting rid of that. This activate main card. Not this one. Yeah, this one right here. I'm definitely getting rid of that one. He bounces back this Ivankov, so you use the leader ability. So that's the gist of this deck. Just keep bouncing shit back from the deck. Or from the field to life, which is cool. And he also brings this out as well. This bird looking thing. Oh shit, this thing gets a plus 2,000. It sure does. Oh shit, we have to get rid of that. So this turn we're definitely going into, oh no, that gecko. I think we might start needing to get that gecko going, gang, to be honest with you. We need to get some bodies on board, some bigger bodies on board. I know this deck probably struggles with bigger bodies, so let's go ahead and go straight out to this gecko, bring back the Luffy and the ace, which is completely fine. We're gonna use leader ability. Get rid of this ace. And we always go Sabo Luffy. There we go. There we go. And we always pop this card because this thing gets a plus fucking two fucking bands. It's crazy. And then we're gonna actually pop back this Sabo and go out to our big Sabo. We actually ended up getting the little ace, so now we have what we need to be able to end the game. We can get rid of that searcher because we actually don't even need anything with the search. I'll probably say one search, one ice age probably. One search and probably maybe an ice age because we have 2 of them in hand. What do you guys think? Get rid of the Luffy for some reason. It's because I misclicked. Oh great. So attack. I should have never discarded the Luffy. I was an extra counter. I should have get rid of the ice age, but it's all good. So even when you know what you know how to do, bro, sometimes you just misclick or send the wrong card to the trash / graveyard. Fact, not an opinion. But we are building up our board, so next turn we need to start applying some pressure. He's not going to be able to attack us at 9, so I think we're looking really solid here. See what he does. Come on, bro. What the fuck are you doing, man? Playing one of the most easiest decks to use, bro. If you don't get this going, what's going on? This is what I hate when I'm playing against people and they just be taking forever. And they aren't using BY. I can understand BY Luffy. There's a lot of lines you gotta think, but I don't know. Maybe there is a lot of lines. I don't know. Sounds like I'm just getting grumpy, to be honest with you, because I'm just been sitting here doing this all day. But it's okay. Good for it. Look, it's for a good cause. He attacks that lead. Perfectly fine. I think he just used that to get his effect, which is perfectly fine. And he actually goes for the Luffy. If this is the only way for you to close out the games, I feel bad for you, bro, because you're about to get your bitch fuck, fam. You about to be put in the pack. Fact, not an opinion. He cheats that back out into his life. He's gonna attack me at 10, bro. If this is how you guys are closing games, bro, I don't know about this deck. We're gonna get rid of this Flampy and get rid of one of these Luffy. See, look, if I would have ended up discarding my Ice Age, I would have ended up having just discarding that Rocket Luffy earlier. You see what I mean? So it's all good. We made it to the next turn. We have 2 blockers. We have to get rid of this unblockable Luffy. So I think what we go into 100% is that we go into the Ace Luffy combo at this point. And that's why I said earlier, saving your little bodies for later, late game. This is a prime example of what I'm talking about. Since I saved my lower bodies, I'm able to Ice Age this Luffy, and now I can actually pop with my Rocket Luffy, since it is literally a cost 0. So, and that's why I said earlier, saving your babies until late game is Look, I feel like it's one of the most important things to do, because if I didn't save my cards for late game, I wouldn't be able to do what you guys are about to see. We're gonna use leader effect. We'll get rid of this Ice Age because I don't think we need to use this again. We always go into the Ace and Luffy. It doesn't matter for the sequencing for this. So we're just gonna go straight into this. We're gonna bounce back. We're gonna pop this. Cool. And yeah, we're just gonna bounce back. My bad, I almost fell asleep. My bad, yo, my bad. Oh shit, that's good. That's completely my bad. So I'm at 11k. I'm at 11.9. So I think I might just attack 7. Let's see if he counters out. He probably takes this. That's why I didn't put the counter on. And then I did put the counter on, bro. I'm literally tweaking right now. We're gonna attack at 10, and then we're also gonna attack at 11. So if he doesn't win next game, he pretty much loses. I got 2 blockers out. Not only do I got 2 blockers out, I got 2 2Ks and a 1K in hand. I got 2 1Ks in my hand, actually. Come on, bro. What's going on, man? Please hurry up so I can stop recording this game. You actually get a trigger with the Lindbergh, perfectly fine. He has to try to go for games this turn. If he doesn't go for this game this turn, we about to pack this man up, send him on his way home. So let's see what happens. Come on, bro. What are you doing? Oh, he's thinking, my bad. I'm over here getting grumpy, bro. Gotta chill. I'm about to be on some shicey shit. Almost thought I was playing against one of these scamming gremlins. Oh, that's what it felt like. Almost felt like I'm playing against one of these scamming gremlins trying to scam for my fucking deck. You guys are pussies, bro. What the fuck is wrong with y'all, man? Niggas on some weird ass shit. That's some weirdo shit, bro. Niggas call themselves content creators and scamming the community. You are a fucking gremlin, bro. That's how I know you. These people never play anything competitive in their life ever in their life, bro. So he summons out this Ivankov, and then he cheats out this what is this? Oh, it's the same thing. Okay, yeah, he cheats that out. He's gonna have to go for a game, bro. I don't know what he's doing, to be honest with you. Yeah, I don't know what he's doing. I think he low-key lost, to be honest with you, bro. I think this man lost. I don't think he has a play. I think that's why he's just sitting there thinking. I think he literally lost, bro. I'm at 8K, 2 blockers. I got an ace gecko on board. I don't know what you could possibly do, bro. Like, I don't see how you get out of this. Yeah, I honestly just don't see how you get out of this at all. Next turn, I don't even know how many. I think he has what, 1 2 3 4 5 6. I think he has like 7 cards in hand. But I'm at 8K though. So he's at 7. He put 1 Don on his leader, which is fine. He bounces that back. That's literally not gonna mean nothing. I literally have 1 2 3 4 5. I have 6 attacks. So I'm gonna be able to cycle out this ace. Come on, gang. You are taking forever, bro. The hell, man. So he has a plus 2,000 power. It's fine. Attacks at 7. Yeah, this dude lost, bro. I don't know what he's doing. This dude's all high off life right now or something. And then he attacks at 9. Okay. What, you think I'm an idiot, bro? Come on, bro. We already knew this thing was at 9K, bro. And now he's taking forever for some reason. Yeah, he's actually taking forever right now, bro. What are you doing? Why does it still say blocker? What is going on? I think he's trolling me, bro. I think he's like shadow realming me right now or something, bro. Ain't no way you have me sitting here like this waiting just to pop my garp 3 minutes later, bro. Ain't no fucking way. There we go. So that's fine. So yeah, we pretty much just won, to be honest with you. He has no blocker. He only has 2 life. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4. Yeah, I'm gonna have 5. I have 6 attacks. So I got another ace of the grave anyway. I think we attack at 7, 9, 9, 9, 11. Or not 11, 9. I think that's what we attack at, right? I'm not really too sure. I think we kind of bait him out just so we can get some counter out of the hand. Then we just start swinging really, really wide. Then we go 7. We should probably do 7. Just put 1 on my Sabo, swing at 7. He's gonna have to counter out. Okay, so he has 5 cards left in hand. I'm gonna put 2 on our ace. So we're gonna do, there we go, put 2 on our ace. So we're gonna attack at 9. He's running out of counter. Takes that, cool. And then we attack. We put 3 on Sabo. We're gonna attack at 9 with Sabo. And we attack at 9, that'll be 3. We'll have 4 Don left. And with the 4 Don left, we can actually cycle out and also bring out the ace as well. So yeah, we should be Gucci. So we attack at 9. There we go. Attack at 9. We're gonna have to counter out eventually, bro. Yeah, he lost. So that's the game. He lost. Hope this guide helped you, y'all. Did all this shit for free. Hope you guys really enjoyed the video, helping out the gang, helping out the community. Okay, I'm a yellow gang user, YGOD member, and I refuse to let these you know, these broke ass gremlins try to, you know, run you up, scam you. You get what I'm saying? So I hope this guide helped you. If you guys have any more questions, we got people in the Discord and also in the videos trying to help you out as well. You guys already know how we getting down over here, gang type shit. And yeah, y'all, that's all I got. But look, before I go, if you was feeling the vibes, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It out.